What's going on? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with another video. It looks like Golovkin has made his decision to go ahead and bypass the Billy Joe Saunders fight and fight Canelo Alvarez. We'll talk about that in a hot second. But my shout out to my boy Rick Glasser. A lot of people in the boxing community know him. He come in with the true, real numbers. All values tells you to wait and don't believe the first media numbers. The pay-per-view buys and a lot of other good shit in boxing. Shout out to him. He basically said that the way that out in the media portrayed it, that he did 150K to 170K pay-per-view buys with Daniel Jacobs. We're talking about Gennady Golovkin. The real number was 123 pay-per-view buys for Golovkin and Jacobs. And you don't see them blasting that all over the wall. But if it was other fighters doing low numbers like that, it'd be plastered everywhere. But it was a good number. Rick pointed out that going against March Madness tournament, the single elimination college basketball tournament in America that polarizes the whole, country, and everybody gets engaged, even people who have zero interest in it, in basketball, during that tournament. That's a good number. He went directly up against that from games all day to games all night. And, quite honestly, the city was slapping when I was in New York City for the Triple G and Daniel Jacobs fight. Part of that was Mike Cologne and being St. Patty's Day weekend, but, he brought a lot of people out. But here again, he chose to pass up on on Billy Joe Saunders. And, I thought he should have took the Billy Joe Saunders fight, and I'm going to explain this real quick. Once again, I got a video that explains it in more details than this. Why Golovkin should have took the Saunders fight over the Canelo fight, for the simple reason that, Frank Warren is willing to negotiate and probably get him the lion's share of the pot. And you can't put a price on that. The fight was going to take place in his country. It was going to be a showcase for him, for his country, because I think 80% of the population, his country, tuned in like in the middle of the morning, to watch him and Daniel Jacobs. So that's how popular he is over there. And he stood to make $10 million, I heard. So even if it's $5 or $3 million versus Billy Joe Saunders' country, you can't put a price on being undisputed middleweight champion. That's historic. That puts you in an elite company. No matter how much, me or anybody else, nitpicks his resume, that puts you in, elite company. That puts you in Hall of Fame status just by being the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. And I think that automatically gets you in the Hall of Fame right there, in a historic division in boxing, or one of the original divisions in boxing for him. But he's choosing to go ahead and fight Canelo Alvarez and take Oscar at his word after they did all this ducking and dodging and his bullshit. And they was willing to put him in there with David Lemieux and do all that. Had David Lemieux do Canelo's dirty work, and he got beat up. Now Canelo has to get his hands dirty himself and get the job done. But will they make the fight? Can you really trust Oscar at his word? Can you trust him to give you a fair offer? Because if you wasn't happy with the $15 million offer, flat fee with no pay-per-view box, what is it that if Chavez and Canelo does groundbreaking numbers, $1 million, 1.5, $1 million over that, or close to that, they're not going to devalue again and say, look how big Canelo is, and drop your offer to some bullshit. And then at that point, if you don't take it, then you look like a fool, because you miss out on a Billy Joe Saunders fight. He's probably going to fight and lose to somebody else, to fight and try to run over and really hold the belt hostage and really milk you out of your price from the original fight. So you're not going to make shit with him, because you got to bow to his demands, really. And with Canelo, you got to bow to his demands to make chicken scraps. And he gave you a formidable offer, in his opinion, and that offer is going to drop based on the value of what he does with Chavez Jr. And Lord forbid that he loses Chavez Jr., then that's down the drain. You gotta negotiate with Chavez Jr., who just came off a career, life-changing career with Canelo Alvarez, who just got the bullshit share, and he's really gonna pump up the purse and really milk you itself. So you in a lose-lose situation if Canelo doesn't win and give you a fair shot, because then he got you by the balls and you got to do what he say. Everything, ring size, gloves, you just basically got to show up. He's going to be a diva. He's going to milk you out. And I think it's just stupid business by Triple G. But if it all works out, he gets a fair deal versus Canelo Alvarez, and they get it on. Who gives a shit at that point? We just happy to have a fight, and sick of all the talk and all the bullshit that's going around, and see how it's done, because Canelo's talking, say I can do way more than Daniel Jacobs can do, and I could beat Triple G. So get in the ring and do it. You know, get rid of Chavez Jr. Get in the ring in September and do it. But I just fear that he's going to suffer some type of injury, some fake injury, some setback, and try to milk this fight out even longer than what it has to be. And I think Triple G just, you know, that just shows his manager, his promoter, Tom Lawford and K2 don't know what they're doing, don't know how to negotiate. And that's why you get a guy like Al Heyman, Bob Arum, Cameron Duncan to handle your business that have experience in negotiation. You can tell it's sorely lacking with Triple G. We gone.